All right, guys, what we got going on here is a condenser motor on a rooftop unit. It's a carrier. I'm gonna do my best to keep it stabilized. This guy right here, we're about to change him. He's spinning slowly. Change the cap, and he's still spinning slowly. Check the amperage, the voltage, everything's good on it. So we're gonna go ahead and replace him with a ball bearing, same speed, little higher amperage motor, will handle a little better. Designed for 70 centigrades, so it should last a while. Let's go see what we can get done. All right, we forgot our battery. Let's hop off. Let's go ahead and get started on this. Safety first. Remember to turn off the power. You don't want this guy to come on. First job, first day. Back when I was about 18. Pulled one of these guys out and it started on me. Undo those wires. Going around circles looking for the electrical panel. I'm gonna assume it's this guy right here. Set you guys down for a second. Alright, now a good start, but keep moving forward. Bad cat. Okay, wires to that motor. Right. All three of these. Okay. Let's see if our original motor's wires is long enough. See these wires? These wires come right there, come down here, and they come here. Motor wires. As you can see, they don't reach. That other motor is further out. I have to bring it in. Yeah, let's cut these wires and make up some nice connections. All right, we work with what we have. Let's do it. All right, so for this part, what I do is I try and take the condenser motor, and then measure from this point to this point so that we may add it to the new motor, and it's at the same distance so that we don't modify airflow as much as possible. So if we look here, looks about 6 inches in the camera, but we are closer to 6 1/4. How do we know for sure? We add 4 1/2. And 1 3/4. 1 3/4. So we have 6 1/4 inches. That's what we're gonna mark this motor from this edge to the top. It has to end at 6 1/4. Let's see what that looks like. So I'll show you my kit. I got my puller, some lube, cleaner, wrench, torque it down, and they're pesky. And then we have our socket that fits right on top. So essentially this will go up here, and we need the adapter to the drill so that way it can come off pretty smooth. Don't know where my adapter went. Got some sandpaper to clean it. So I essentially made a bag to remove blades and blower and condenser wheels. This guy is short, so we're gonna go ahead and just sand it off, dry it, lube it, and then it'll probably just come off with the regular wrench really quick without having to do that extra work. It's a short shaft, so it shouldn't give us too much trouble. Just in case, if it does, we'll pull out our handy big boy. And for sure, no resistance there. Let's move forward with this. Sure enough, little sanding, little cleaning, pulled right off. Little turning. So let's go ahead and mount the new motor at 6.25 inches. Okay, so this motor came out to 4.75 inches minus 6.75 minus the 4.25 inches gives us this with 1.5 inches. So at 1.5 inches, that's where we marked our shaft. This is going to be the top is this guy right here. So we're gonna have to cut these guys off and put this guy as low as it can go on this shaft. So it's gonna be maybe a little higher, but that's the best that we can do with it. We definitely gotta cut these posts off. Yep, let's go ahead and do that. So the way that we cut these poles off, if you gotta cut them, is we get some cutting pliers down below as far as you can. We'll nick it. Just crimp down a little on it. Crimp down a little on it. Crimp down a little on it. See that they're nicked. So we got some channel locks. Since we put the pliers on this side and nick either side, we're gonna go back and forth. Came right off. Came right off. Right off. Now we have more space. So we brought it down to where our line is. You can see the line right there. Now this is touching the motor. We bring it up. So you see this cut mark right here, how it's flat on either side and it's rounded the rest of the way. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and bring this up to where it hits that line. So it's maybe 1/4 of an inch or so. You can barely see it, but the line is right up on it. That's where we're gonna lock it in, and it spins. It doesn't touch anything. So we're gonna lock it in, and then we're all set with the blade distance. Once we set that motor in, it'll be pretty close to what the old one was. So let's give it a shot. So it's already in. I apologize, guys and girls, running out of light here, trying to brighten the image up. Looks dark. It's getting dark out here. Maybe we have a good 20-30 minutes to finish this, but the closer you bring this to the down to the motor, the less chances and the less vibration, you could say, transferring to the motor. So the higher this blade is on this tip, the further out from the motor, the more vibrations that you'll get to the bearings. And the closer it is to the motor, the less vibration there will be, or chances of vibration to transfer to the bearings, thus making it last longer. So if you put this blade higher to this shaft, the other thing that could happen is, because of the weight and as the blade spins, it creates resistance on the shaft, and it'll wiggle back and forth as it's moving at the higher RPMs that it does. So the closer to the motor, the more chances of it lasting longer. So let's go ahead and mount this motor. Also, I don't know if I said this, but when you go to tighten this guy down, you do it on the flat end. As it is here, it's round and it's flat here. So you want to torque it down. Some guys torque it down, untorque it to make a sort of a dent inside, and then torque it back down. You can do that. I personally don't, because I've never had one fail the way that I do it. So I torque it all the way down and then I torque it a little tighter. So I go all the way as soon as it stops, and I probably go about a turn more, complete turn, and that pretty much sets it in. But you guys can do it the other way if you like. So one thing I found is these are the new star washers or lock washers, whatever they're called, that came with the motor. And these are the new nuts on these posts. I'm going to use the old ones because the old one is bigger than this new one, and it also has sort of like a star figure in the back of it, which will lock instead of having these two pieces. And also the holes on this unit is bigger, so for this application the original ones will be better, and they're the same size as those poles, so we'll use the old ones. They're in good shape. So we got our two tie straps right here, hold the conduit where the wires run crossed. We got a ground screw. Always do your ground screw. You gotta ground everything properly. So I put a tie strap to keep this from just flapping around. And here are the wires to reverse the motor in case the rotation is incorrect. These are reversible. So it looks clean. And we're not afraid to warranty our work. We do, even on commercial, for things like this, 2 to 3 years. We do it right. And I've never had a callback on any motor that I've done. So I know they last the time that we warranty them. I'm not saying we are the best or that I am the best. I am just saying that if you do good work, the piece of equipment that's manufactured will last what it's designed for, and usually longer. So I know this motor here will give yours a functionality. So let's go ahead and do the wiring, make sure everything's done properly. So that motor is as close as possible to the motor. There is less vibration. So those bearings, that's ball bearings, so they'll last a long time. Everything is nice and tight. We're gonna go ahead and put all the screws around it and work on the wiring. I want you to notice one more thing. If you see this motor, this is a new motor that we put in. Those blades are turning. I hardly feel no wind here, if any. And you can see the bushes down there. There's no movement, even the palm trees. There's hardly any movement on them. Those blades are turning. This other motor here is not turning. So this motor here, even though it's old, this motor here with hardly any wind is turning. So yeah, I get it, it's a new motor, but it's spinning freely, just with very little air, if any. You see how I stopped? So that's pretty good balanced. And we're gonna find out when we turn it, put our hand on it, see if we feel any vibration on it once we start it up. All right, this motor is spinning backwards. So we're going to go ahead and reverse that polarity, and then we should be good to go. Let's check it out. Okay, we are done, guys. Motor is running properly. Had to swap that rotation. It's basically dummy proof. So feels like we got a lot more airflow out of this one though than we do out of that one. Not necessarily a good thing. You can't have too much airflow. And it feels cooler too. This side feels cooler, that side feels a bit warmer. Might be removing more heat. Okay, so we are done here. What we did is we strapped the cap there, put the wires way up there, so water cannot come to it. So, and also if you notice, there's a bit of a downward down, and it comes back down. So water ever hits that, it drops down as opposed to go into the cap connection. So we're all done here. We're gonna go ahead and close everything up, and no more sunlight. We are in Cathedral City, California. I love the desert. Summer's around the corner. I better love that too because I don't have an option. Yeah, let's see if we can put this in slow motion, see how it looks, test it out. That's all I have for you guys. Until next time.